And welcome back. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming in and joining us once again. Today, I am going to be getting extremely vulnerable. I'm going to be going through something that I am going through currently right now in terms of what it is that I am overthinking and some action that I'm not able to take. So I'm not sure if this is going to be some type of therapy session for me or if it's just going to me express myself. Regardless, I'm looking to get clarity, and I'm also looking to help myself try to figure out what it is we can do, because I think a lot of people fall into this. And it's very easy that I come on these podcasts and I talk about the different ideas and whatnot, but then when I'm trying to get through it myself, there's no really behind the scenes. So this one, I'm going to open up the curtain just a little bit and explain to everybody what's going on. So for a little bit now, I've been having this idea that there's this new idea, concept. That's not a new concept, but this new I'll just say it. I've been wanting to open up an online community to help people who are looking to create their own online courses, their own podcasts, really just to help package their ideas in a certain way to be able to then deliver it. So if somebody's looking to make an impact, they're looking to make a change, they're looking to do a little bit more in whatever it is that they're looking to do, that they can then take those ideas that they might have in their head, or maybe they have the experience, and really just look to be able to share them in different avenues. And it's been pretty cool that I've done the podcast, I've done the online courses, I've done the live courses, I've written books. Like I have a little bit of experience in different areas where I can hopefully share some expertise. And this isn't to take somebody from like 0 to a million, but definitely take you from like 0 to 100, right? If you are a beginner, if you're looking to take things to the next level, I might be able to just show you just a little bit in terms of what is it you need to be doing. So I've had this idea for a while now that I wanted to start a community. And I've been toying about, a few different ideas in terms of what is it that I can start to do. And I have been having such cold feet to just jump into it. And there are reasons why. And just to say a few is I've tried the community thing before. I didn't have a great experience. I didn't really have a great support team when I was doing it. I was sort of just, listening to podcasts and really just trying to figure out what was going to do. One of the hardest things is getting people to get into the communities. But even once I got people into the community, it was hard to get people to start engaging in the community, which if you want an online community, that's where the best parts are. Because if you think about it, even on LinkedIn, for example, I heard a crazy stat where only 4% of people on LinkedIn actually post. So that means 96% of people are not posting. They might be reading, they might be liking, they might be commenting, but most people are not being starting up that engagement. And I think a lot of times also with these communities, what ends up happening is that you have a few people who are asking the questions, you have a few people who want the answers, hopefully by the person who's hosting the community, and they're going to be the ones who are going to be able to engage and make sure that everything is moving forward and really offer the value that people need. So that was one of my fears. It's like, can I start one of these communities? Because I've tried it before. And, even though we got a couple of, I think we had I think the highest was like 65, 70 people in the community, which is a great start, but there wasn't so much engagement, and it started killing the buzz, and I was losing my vibe, and it was just like something that didn't really work out. But I think this specific idea is something that I think a lot of people can benefit from, because there are people out there, people who I've coached, people I've spoken to, who have a specific idea and they want to get it out there. They just don't know how, they don't know what to do, or maybe they do know what avenue they want to go down, but they just don't know how to formulate it and just to start moving forward. And I think what's interesting is that we all have things in our lives that we overthink. We start to just get into our own heads about all the millions of steps or millions of reasons why we shouldn't be doing something. And I think that makes a lot of sense. But on the other hand, we also have to realize that if we want things to happen, we have to start taking action. And it's so easy to talk ourselves out of certain ideas just because we know what the roadblocks are going to be. And what's crazy is we don't even know what the hard roadblocks are going to be. And it's one of the things I speak about when I give my presentation on goal setting. It's we don't know what those difficult things are. And that's going to be the hardest, because I could get myself ready for the fact that it's going to be hard to run ads, or it's going to be hard to get engagement, but there's probably going to be like a million other things that are going to be going on that I just don't have any idea about. Like somebody leaves a negative comment, or somebody says something inappropriate. Like, how do you handle all these things, which I'm not thinking about because that's like so far down the line. So I think it's very interesting that for many people, they talk themselves out and they don't end up taking the action. For me personally, this is something I've been toying with for a while. And now that I'm getting serious, there are certain things that I've been doing to get myself closer to that point. So I'm trying to alleviate some of these fears that I had. So number one is I actually joined a community of people who look to help support each other in this specific area of creating communities, which has been awesome so far. And number two is I'm learning from somebody who has done it before to try to see what tricks have they done, what advice can I get from them, who's, somebody who's built a 7-figure community, a multiple 7-figure community. I think that's something that for me is something that's really, really important. So if we can start to understand for ourselves, like, what are the fears that are really coming up? Number one, are they rational or irrational? Because many times it might just be irrational. It's like, well, somebody might say something negative to me, so therefore I'm not going to do something. I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to get into sales, and then it might be that somebody rejects my offer. Like, well, that's part of it. That's the expectation we need to have. And what we have to try to do is just try to prepare ourselves to see what is it we can do to circumvent those. Allow ourselves to be prepared when those things do happen as much as possible. What is it we can start to do? And I think if we could also have this thinking cap of, I just need the feedback. I want to be able to do something a little bit different to allow myself to move forward. I want to do something, just switch it just a tad to say, hey, you know what? When these things do go wrong, because they're going to go wrong, it's not failure. Like, I think that's the problem. It's people have this connection of the thing didn't work, and therefore failure, and therefore I'm a terrible person, and therefore my self-esteem is like gone. And it's not that. It's saying, hey, this thing didn't work, and now I have more education, and now I can do something differently the next time, and I can make it better the next time. And then it's just a totally different move. It's like when you're doing a puzzle. I don't know if any puzzlers out there. So I'm a big puzzle family with my family. And one of the things that I do is towards the end of the puzzle, when all the pieces are maybe all the same color, or it just gets a little bit more complicated, maybe in the beginning of the puzzle, you're trying to like figure out which side of the piece goes into the spot. And I'm not thinking every single time, I'm a failure, I'm a failure, I'm a failure. It's like, no, you could literally try 50 or 60 times on a piece. And one of the things I tried to do with my son, because he was getting so frustrated, I said, let's have a competition to see who could get more pieces wrong until we get a piece. And it was like an interesting game, an interesting frame, because we're celebrating the fact that we're continuing to try. And I think that's something that so many people get so bogged down by. And that's why so many people try to become successful and try to do things and they don't get it. And I'm not, for me personally, like this is something I'm struggling with right now in regard to this specific area. And it's hard for me. And it's all the things I'm trying to figure out, what is it I can do? So number one is understanding what are the fears and what you can do to circumvent that. Number two is trying to find those people like you who are looking to make that difference, who are looking to do things differently. And I think if we could start to do that, then I really start to believe that so many things can be different in terms of like what it is that we want to be doing. And I think for a lot of us, we have these ideas that we want to be able to change, or we want to be able to take the action. And yet we're not setting ourselves up for success because we're not surrounding ourselves with the people who are already successful. And it's interesting because I think you look at the most successful people, they're constantly leveling up their inner circle, the people who could just carry them up to the next level. And I think for a lot of other people who can't necessarily get there, you don't have to be paying millions of dollars, but can you join a group for $20? Can you, be a part of a community? Can you start a community? Like one of the reasons why I want to start this online community is because I want to be able to be with other people who I think I can help and really help them make their impact that they're looking to do. And it's something that I'm pretty passionate about. I've helped a bunch of people create their own online courses. I've spoken to people about writing books. It's stuff that I have done already, and it's something that just lights me up and gives me energy. So it's something interesting that I'm toying with. But I think the fact that I was able to find the community, and I was able to say, hey, you know what? These are a group of people who are all trying to do this very similar thing to me, and we're all trying to look to take things to the next level. Like that is something that is very powerful. And I think if we could all start to notice that could be something that could really start to switch. So understanding that, I believe this could be something that could really, really make such a big difference when it comes to that thing that is holding you back. And what we have to realize also is that there's never going to be a right time. And this is something that I'm currently literally thinking about day to day. It's like, when is the right time I should start my community? And I personally believe that I'm not prepared yet. And the reason why I'm not prepared yet, because I don't have a goal, right? I don't even know like what that end looks like. And even if that end can change, I'm not clear enough, and I'm still gathering information. And sometimes we have to understand, is it something that we're lacking? Is there information that we're lacking? Or is it just our fears? Is it our limiting beliefs? Is it the imposter syndrome that we're having, that, we want things to go X, Y, and Z? And I think once we can understand that, and we can try to figure out, okay, which one is which, and then we have the ability to move forward. And then we have the ability to take advantage of whatever it is that we want to be taking advantage of. And that's something that can be very, very exciting when it comes to our success, when it comes to stopping to overthink, because then you can say, hey, maybe there is information for me. I want to just have a basic idea in terms of where I want to be in 9 months from now, 12 months from now. And then I'll be, okay, let's start. And then we'll slowly build up to that. But for me, I know that I'm going to have to get that clarity, because especially with my specific decision right now, there's just certain things that I'm going to be going through. And I know that I'm going to make a choice very soon in terms of the direction that I want to go in. And if I don't have that clarity in terms of what it is I want to be doing, then it's just not going to work for me. I'm the type of person who I like to know A, B, and C. Even if I have to work it back C, B, and A, if you know what I'm talking about, if you listen to any of my stuff about reverse engineering. But regardless, I need to have that clarity just so I can move forward. And then hopefully, if I need to pivot, I will pivot later on. But I think that's something that so many people get caught up on. And if we can start to understand for ourselves, what is the thing that's holding us back? What is that thing? Is it information or is it ourselves holding us back? And what we have to realize is like, this is all part of the journey. And who knows if this is going to be my last community? Who knows it's going to be my first out of 20 communities that I want to start, whatever it might be. But what is it that we're learning from this to be able to take to the next level? Because in 20 years, am I going to be doing this? I have no idea. But guess what? Will I hopefully be building skills right now that are going to be able to translate into other skills later on? I hope so. And that's what I'm honestly looking for. It's like, what are the skills that I can start to learn? What are the marketing skills? What are the, just engagement skills? How can I start to build some type of brand in this specific field? And I think for so many of us, we get so scared and we get so down and we don't realize that we have this ability to be able to move forward, to be able to take advantage of that. And if we can start to do these types of things, then I really think that could be something that could be really, really special. So recognizing that, I think, could be really, really powerful, and recognizing that, we have the ability to be able to move forward. And all we have to do is just to understand like what's going on over here. And if you're the type of person, because I was definitely in this boat a couple of times where I was saying, well, I don't know what the issue is, right? How many of you are like that? Like, I don't know what the issue is. So then ask yourself, if you had to know, what would the answer be? Like, what's the thing that's holding you back right now? I don't know. But if you had to know, what would that thing be? Then all of a sudden we can start to take a step back. We start to reflect. We start to ask ourselves, you know what? Maybe it's X, Y, and Z. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's, I don't have enough money. Maybe it's, I don't have, the right circle of friends. Maybe I don't even know where to start. And then we can start asking the questions. We can start to reaching out. We can look online. We can start watching YouTube videos. And then one leads to the next, leads to the next. And what we have to recognize is that if we really want something, if we know something is missing, and I think that's what happens with so many people, there's this emptiness inside. There's a void that needs to be filled. And if you're not filling that, then you're going to have that emptiness. And what you need to do is we need to start to plant. We need to put the soil in and plant the seeds. It's not going to happen overnight. And I think that's one of the big shifts that I'm having now than I did from last time. Is last time when I started the community, I was very into like growing a massive community and everything like that, but I was trying to do it very quick. And I think right now I'm going to play the long game. I'm going to say, hey, you know what is it that I can start to do slowly and then allow myself to build up in a way that can move forward. And I think that's something that could be really, really powerful when it comes to, the success that we want, the things that we want to be doing. So recognizing that, I think we have the ability to be able to allow ourselves to move forward and to take advantage of all the different things that, that we want to be doing. So what is it you're overthinking? How long have you been overthinking it? Because at the end of the day, if it's not something that that if it's something that's taking you too long to be able to move forward, so sometimes it might be just the action. Just need to take it, start it, quit your job, jump to the next job, start to play piano. Like, don't think about like what keys should I be learning, just start playing. Because at the end of the day, action leads to more action. And if we can start to do that, then things get really, really exciting for us. And I think that's when things really start to switch and change for us. And then we'll all have the ability to be able to move forward and really in the right direction that we're all looking for. And I think that is something that so many people get so stuck with. And overthinking is scaring, and taking action is even scarier. Right? But understand that if we want to do things, we have to move forward, and there's no special pill. Anybody who's taking action has had to build the muscle to take that action. It's not like something that just comes naturally and easy. Like, people are scared. It's terrifying for people. And what we need to do is we need to understand, okay, what is that we can start to do to allow ourselves to move forward, to allow ourselves to be able to take that action, to really make sure that things are going on the way that we want it. And if we have that, then I really think so many more things can come from it. And then we could just get to the next room, like I speak about in my book. We could get from one room to the next room, to the next room, to the next room. That could be something that could be so powerful. So ask yourself, what is that thing that's holding you back? If you have any questions about this specific topic or even the community, feel free to reach out. Be happy to speak about it. If you have any ideas or things that people might like in a specific community, then that'll be amazing. Maybe you're even listening to this and the community's been on for like 2-3 years, and all of a sudden, like, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he started that. So this is like the mindset beforehand. So hopefully we'll get to that place where things will be very, very exciting and we'll be able to move forward. But at the end of the day, the biggest thing is think about it. Don't think about it too much. Start to take action, prepare yourself, understand if it's yourself that's holding you back or if it's information holding you back. And once you do that, then we have this ability, then we start to move forward and really start to see, what is it that we can start to do to start living our lives? Because at the end of the day, time's clicking, and what are we going to do about it?